Following the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Lando Norris went viral for calling out Max Verstappen overtaking other cars under virtual safety car conditions on the cooldown lap. After the heavy crash between Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez, Oscar Piastri took the checkered flag under the VSC, but the virtual safety car didn't end there, as there could still have been marshals and medical personnel on the track. Thanks for watching another GPFans Global video. Make sure to like this video down below, and while you're down there, make sure to subscribe as well. We post a lot of these news videos, so stay up to date by hitting that button. Verstappen overtook both Piastri and Charles Leclerc on the cooldown lap, congratulating both drivers on his way through. Norris reported via team radio that Verstappen was overtaking cars under the yellow flag, something that Pierre Gasly, Nico Hülkenberg and Esteban Ocon also did. All four drivers were summoned to the stewards but were let off with a warning. Norris, however, received backlash on social media for calling out his championship rival, but the 24-year-old is adamant he did not mean anything by his comment. "I didn't complain about anything, I just stated facts," Norris told F1 TV. "I just had VSC on my dash with the yellow lights. Obviously there was a crash with paramedics on track, which normally means no overtaking, but he was overtaking. So I questioned it, I quizzed it to my team because I didn't think you were allowed to overtake, but maybe I'm wrong." No doubt the biggest moment of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix came right at the end when Carlos Sainz Jr. and Sergio Perez touched and crashed out of the race between turns 2 and 3 on the penultimate lap. Christian Horner says he is surprised Sainz got away without taking a penalty for causing the crash. Sainz and Perez were scrapping for third place in the race, while Charles Leclerc ahead was desperately holding on to second after losing sight of race winner Oscar Piastri. Perez had overtaken Sainz at the start of the Grand Prix for third place and stayed in third for the bulk of the race. Things came to a head on lap 50 when Perez attempted to overtake Leclerc for second, only to be pushed wide and dropped to fourth behind Sainz. Four-time Grand Prix winner Perez fought back, pulling alongside Sainz, heading onto the back straight when the two drivers suddenly touched and clobbered the wall, ending both of their races. After investigation, no penalties were issued by the FIA and its stewards. "I would have expected it, a Sainz penalty, from what I've just seen," Horner said after the race. "I would have expected it, causing that kind of incident and collision, and I'd be very disappointed if he weren't to take some form of penalty. It's frustrating because Checo certainly should have been on the podium at the very least in third place, probably second. I think he actually could have won that race had it not been for losing a lot of time behind Alex Albon initially and then Lando Norris. Whilst Checo was on new tyres and Oscar was still on the old tyres, Lando backed him up, which allowed Oscar to keep track position. I think without that, we would have been ahead of Oscar and he would have passed Leclerc and he would have been fine. So hugely frustrating." Perez and Sainz both led huge points on the table, so let's have a look at the drivers' standings after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix to see how it's shaping up. Albeit by just 3 points, Lando Norris has further closed the gap on championship leader Max Verstappen. With 7 rounds to go, Norris will have to outscore the Dutchman by 9 points a race on average to catch him. The Briton has to check his rearview mirrors too, however, as Charles Leclerc is now just 19 points behind him, while Oscar Piastri has further closed the gap on the top 3 as well after his second Grand Prix victory. Sergio Perez has dropped to 8th place. George Russell has drawn level on points but has overtaken the Mexican as he has more race wins this season, which is the tiebreaker. After scoring his first ever points in Formula 1, Franco Colapinto has moved up to 19th place. He already has more points scored for Williams than 5 of their last 9 drivers ever managed. There was a huge shift in the constructors' standings. Check out yesterday's video to find out what that was. For now though, that's it from me. Don't forget to follow us everywhere, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you then.